Hi there. Hi there. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. Can you guys hear me okay? Excellent. Thank you. Yes, happy spring. It's my favorite. Okay. Before I start, please help yourself to my gift that's hanging here in the air. It looks a little bit like the first slide. It's just a little something. Okay. Welcome to Parallax Learning and Creative Contingency Plans. Thank you for joining us today. I am Renee McCobrock, and you might know me as Zinnia Zauber as well. I'm an artist, instructor, and superhero. I'm a professor of multimedia communications at Peninsula College in Port Angeles, Washington, in the United States. And here's a link to that department. You can find me and my work at a couple different places. So here's a whole bunch of links. And this presentation will be at my SlideShare site. I haven't loaded it yet, but it will be there later today. So you'll be able to find all these goodies there. And please visit my sim to learn more about my work at Hue or You. And there's the link for that. And that landmark's also in the gift. And shameless plug, or you can get my book, and here's the direct link if you want to learn more. Okay, let's go. Don't panic. The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy by Douglas Adams is a launch manual to prepare multimedia students to approach, brainstorm, and problem solve from various points of view and audience perspectives. Parallax learning encourages a strategic, empathetic approach, formulated growth mindset. And yep, that's me in green with Douglas Adams. Did any of you guys have this game? I still have mine. And I have my students play this interactive fiction, and very few of them get out of the bedroom. Excellent, Bill. Yes, yes, awesome. I try not to have them do it the first week of class, but oh gosh, it's so much fun. Yeah, I still have all the goodies from it. So aiming for an apparent position or solution, students use multidimensional virtual scenarios to devise creative contingency plans appearing to be precognition. Do you know where your towel is? Excellent, Sheila. With COVID-19 and the stay safe orders, we have been totally online since April 13th, 2020. The whole college works together to send encouragement to our amazing students. We did this fun video for them. We shifted to Zoom sessions instead of meeting on campus. All students got to experience Second Life through shared screens. And a lot of them, of course, were in World as well. Sharing screens and personal stories became supportive learning opportunities. My students made this time of tragedy into a time to help others. As my textbook, The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, teaches students to thrive in awesome, chaotic experiences and learn new things while they persevere and question the meaning of life. It predicts technology way ahead of its time and validates the responsibility creators must consider when they unleash such power in transmedia influences. So what is parallax learning? Did I just make it up? Maybe. The technique called parallax in astronomy is a way to measure distance of stars through motion or a location of the observer's different viewpoints. Consider a parallax learning approach as changing perspective or viewpoint of a problem to gain an ideal outcome. So you can see me rotating my camera angle here of this model that you see in front of to see the different ways that we can get to the same point. And I'm a multimedia sculptor, so I have to view my pieces of art from many angles. And you can see me getting on the floor to be sure everything looks just right from all angles. Here's a parallax demo to help explain. So you can experience this parallax measurement and perception by extending your arm and holding out your hand with a finger or a thumb. Arrange yourself to cover an object in the background, so you might be looking at the slide. Then switch between your left and right eye being open and shut. You will see that your finger or thumb are appearing to shift slightly in the background. If you know the distance between your eyes, you can calculate the distance of your finger, or in this case, a star. And don't worry, there is not a geometry quiz at the end of this presentation. Creative contingency plans are future circumstances that are possible and not totally predictable. My parents were scientists, and my dad especially is a logistics engineer and systems science professor. I explained to my students that I couldn't borrow the car unless I could explain 3 possible routes home for my parents. This is the contingency plan from Vancouver Mall, Washington, to my home along the Whipple Creek. You can see the 3 routes there. That's great. I give students creative route challenges to solve before they can start some assignments. Knowing where your towel is. The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy says that a towel is the most massively useful thing an interstellar hitchhiker can have. You can devise practical and fantastical towel lessons for absorbing imagination that are inclusive and empathetic. They're not easy and require some deep thought and personal expression. I almost put deep thought there in quotes, but I figured I didn't need to, right? Transformation, success, and gaining growth mindset happens when all 6 of these supportive and explorative elements are found in your educational adventure. With these, students can take flight. Now, if some of these things are missing, we can have some problems. So, without agency, resistance can take a stand. Without vision, your experience is confusion. Without incentives, you gain resentment. Without skills, anxiety forms and grows. Without resources, frustration fills the void. Without a strategy, debilitation halts all action. So let's make it happen, right? Let's start with agency. Advocate accommodations. While teaching and working in virtual worlds is not always accessible to all students due to lack of access or robust internet access and higher performing computers, it does provide accommodations of equity to those who can participate in world. You guys experience that? I have been teaching online and in-world for over 13 years, and Peninsula College provides degrees in multimedia communications online and longer, and it's available to a global audience. We have a diverse student population from ages 15 to 92 in our courses. While achieving full accessibility isn't easy, we do our best to accommodate learning environments to be inclusive and respectful. Many of our students require accommodations due to injuries, disabilities, and other impediments, like veterans with post-traumatic stress syndrome, being a caregiver for an elder family member, being a parent of young children, and attending class in public spaces because that is their only access to the internet due to homelessness. Removing barriers from education, interaction, and expression is not limited to physical obstacles. Offering assistive technologies, devising adaptations, modifications to course delivery systems, creating student-centered intentional planning is vital. And you can see this slide right here. These are some of the students who are in our esports team, marketing how that you can get a scholarship. Embrace flow. Our brains improve through pleasure. Flow is the state of complete absorption while in a challenging task. When you're immersed in creativity, in action, you get creative flow. Flow is when time stops. Flow happens when your expertise shines. Flow merges imagination and authenticity. Flow requires personal control or agency over a task. Flow is when you are in a state of oneness or wholeness. Have you experienced flow? Excellent. This is one of the first lessons I actually have the students go through, is to embrace flow. So here's my flow chart and to show how the challenge and skill levels create an area of experience. Isn't it funny? Apathy happens when a task requires low challenge and low skill levels. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? Flow happens when a task is challenging and your best skills are activated. That's, I think, one reason why we all love being here, right? It's so awesome. We're always challenging ourselves and we're getting all kinds of awesome help with our friends. And I think that's one reason why bringing students into a virtual world is excellent for flow. Okay, please embrace these concepts of flow. Yes, Val. Okay, so we got focus. So do that one thing. Devote complete concentration to the task at hand. Watch your time. Your motivation might get lost in flow. You guys know that happens. Freedom. Feel free and safe to express yourself. No self-judgment. Trust yourself. Feedback. We require engagement and clarity of goals. Assessment and evaluation guides improvement, and that is the reward. Participation is enjoyable. And feeling. Do something that you intrinsically rewarding, like that you love, that makes you feel good. Enjoy, awareness, and actions that are united. Challenge yourself. Okay, now on to vision. Okay, give them a map. Now that you know my contingency plan thing, you know maps are going to be pretty important. Try to provide different forms of direction to plan ahead and understand the required outcomes. And I'm sorry, I'm hearing some sound, so I need to move my view a little bit here. Okay. Thank you for your patience there. It was much louder than anything. So I also want to say that because I'm I like to provide different forms of directions and plan ahead and have students really understand what's going on, but I don't spell out everything for my students, and because I'm not that great of a speller, so I use logic, charts, and maps. Communicate directly. Yeah, I love maps, Dee Dee. Love them. So don't get lost in the translation. It is kinder and more effective to speak the truth. Students use 5-word feedback for classmates' weekly essays. Both English professors and students hate it. I get everyone to be efficient and use cool words, only 5 of them. Okay, this is important. Provide them an idea of their place in the plan. Demonstrate where they belong and will be contributing. Have a second breakfast. Be welcoming and embrace hospitality. So when I talk about second breakfast, often, that's a chance to give the students a break and have a little bit of social time. And if anyone knows me, I'm big on my second breakfast. Use parallax perspective and empathy to foster dreams. Create opportunities to build personal connections and teams to support each other. So you can see the 4 starships that are part of my team STEAM assignments. Dreams are goals, then plans to be realized. Zach, in this picture, helps build his classmates' virtual gallery. He's an IT student and not a multimedia student, and wanted this class to be an opportunity to show off his creative side. All the IT students have to take this class with me. They all say they hated it and that it changed their lives. Next, we have incentives. Require ownership. Everything a student creates should be theirs, and that ownership establishes respect. Class side quests become business plans. They go from virtual to actual. And I let the students do a lot of that work, that they build up their own businesses within Second Life. It's a great place for them to be able to test things out with little overhead, because I'm paying for it. Provide coupon codes. So I don't do extra credit. I do coupon codes that are much harder. Things are not always what they seem. May I ask why you felt little Tiffany deserved to die? Said from Men in Black. So little Tiffany and the simple test from Men in Black was added to our psychology area study scene to go along with Penguin's other aliens-inspired artwork, and it is the psych professor's favorite movie franchise. So I'll do these projects with students where that they have a chance to use coupon codes as a substitution for like an essay or a visual vocabulary assignment. And usually it's something that they really want to do, but it's harder than the assignments that are initially given to them. And this was a good example because Penguin, she's actually a student at Western Washington University, but she's taking my class, and so she got to utilize the work that she did in this class with her degree that she was earning in art. And little Tiffany became code for several classes, meaning you need to look deeper. My video classes, we did that quite a bit. We're like, I don't know if little Tiffany would agree with you. Let students learn from their own lessons. Provide room for students to teach themselves and make something just for their own elation and expertise. And have them teach their classmates what they've learned. The snapshot is the student showing how they built their nebulas for their new shop. Okay, let's check out our skills. So, embrace adventure over anxiety. So this is a screenshot of my students in Zoom. So my interaction of color in design students were struggling using their cameras and engaging during class. Each week, we picked out a theme color, and they had to dress or show art or surround themselves in that color. The default was a lot of LED lighting, which I used too, but I was managed to get some colors in there. The results were epic and quite wiggy. So this picture comes from, obviously the theme color was pink, and one of the students had a pink wig, and then all of a sudden all the students pulled out wigs to show off. It was hilarious. And it shows that they were quite creative, and I don't know if they'd planned it. Thank you, Mary. It was so much fun. Improve communication and rally with problem solving. So I teach my students to ask a lot of questions while creating a safe and inspiring space for collaboration. This requires active listening, sincere curiosity, gift-giving, and perseverance. My students produce media projects, which includes videos, graphic design, websites, and marketing campaigns for local businesses, military and government agencies, educational and nonprofit organizations. Some of you may have worked with some of my students on some projects, and I'm grateful for having you do that. They get to engage with diverse populations, and they are encouraged to question authority. Even when something is difficult, we embrace the positives of the opportunity. Confusion and disappointment can generate an unexpected reward. Hours of profound discussions about professionalism and persistence during my class. That built a stronger trust amongst the classmates and with me. We always like to look at the positive when something comes up. And we're very grateful for the opportunities to work with so many different people on the grid. You guys inspire us to do more. Use imagination. The secret is to bang the rocks together, guys. That's my favorite quote from The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Any chance to create, take it. I'm all about doing it, going for it, trying it out. And this is a picture from the Nonprofit Commons Art Walk my students participated in. And my students get to participate in many different exhibits across the grid, so thank you for inviting them to do so. Here we are at resources. Use humor and laugh at yourself. Using a con yell is good for you. We always yell con when we have technology issues. There you go, Mary. And I'll tell you what, every time I crash on Zoom when I'm with my students, because I'll have Second Life and Zoom on at the same time, I come back with a con to welcome them back that I'm back. When people were not following the mask mandates, I would ask, ¿Qué es más macho? Well, Ricardo Montalban, con, of course. And we would try to make lots of fun things so we could laugh about. And laughing was a big deal in our classes. And still is. Share small joys and make tiny allies. I'm talking about Ice Guy, right? The elves! So we would yell out, the elves, all the time to cheer ourselves up and make ourselves laugh. Yes. Thank you, LV. And The Mandalorian also was something that we would get all excited about. So you know this soundtrack became your jam. I'd play it all the time in class, especially with the cat, jamming to it. And I would hear the soundtrack whenever I was out doing work too. And then pick a theme song for yourself and sing it. Mine is the Muzak version of The Girl from Ipanema. What's yours? Anyone else have The Girl from Ipanema as their theme song? Just me? Mine's the version of like when in the Blues Brothers. When they're in the elevator. Okay, I'm going to give you guys a chance to think about that. Ooh, Buffy, that's a good one. Yes. How about by our dance party tonight, you'll let me know what your theme song is. Oh, I know, Gemma. Totally. And like some of the 80s ones that we love. Ooh, that's a good one. Yes. Okay. Oh, that's good too. All right. You guys got this. And you can't help but smile when you think about it. Hal, the Betty Hill theme. Oh, that's awesome. Imagine, that's wonderful. Now, I hope that when you guys are sharing this stuff that you're smiling as much as I am. Our theme songs really make us happy. And there are those little joys that we should express. That's great. Okay. Crisis circumstances require awareness, care, understanding, and offering of a hot beverage. My students focused on connecting students with our care team to help support students in crisis, even when they were as well. Frank Herbert, the author of Dune, is from Washington, so we like to quote him, "Fear is the mind killer." So hot beverages and caring for each other became a pretty big theme in our class assignments. Wonderful. And finally, we're at strategy. So in my courses, we use the creative production systems to explore and foster inquiry before developing solutions and creating content. These are the different parts of it. And what I encourage you guys to consider is how can you build a system for your own classes to have students understand a little better in your chaotic world. So we have purpose. Discover and define what the reasoning of the project is, the end goal, and the call to action. Knowledge. Document those questions, do the research, and curate the gathered content. Skills. So design and to create and explore, to express action and communication goals. All right, tasks. To develop and make the work and devise different versions of it. So those different versions come into that idea of looking at things at different perspectives and using that parallax viewpoint. Criteria for success. Deploy and execute requirements in action and design. Always look twice before you leap. Feedback. Update and gain positive and productive feedback. Give yourself time to reflect and refine your work. Including this process to build creative contingency plans to be adaptive and appear to be omnidimensional. I know there's a bunch of time travelers in this place, right? I like to front load information to my students that can be somewhat overwhelming. This prepares for all contingencies, and it may appear to be precognition to others. At the same time, I trust my students and encourage agency in their learning and producing. Blue, I will upload them later this afternoon. Thank you for asking about that. Yes, hide that TARDIS. Shh, they don't need to know about us. Okay, they do know about us. I remind my students that I'm a Gen Xer and I will not handhold or micromanage them. The gamer growth mindset. So some of you guys have heard of the growth mindset compared to a static mindset, right? Excellent. So it could be a roll of the dice or the heart of gold infinite improbability drive that generates that idea of accepting uncertainty. Yet accepting the impossible is possible to make the ordinary extraordinary, makes the creative mind the dungeon master of all and any game. Yes, Blue. Yes, definite roll. We roll our eyes at any micromanaging. Yes, grab your die. Grab your die. So there is a freedom in a growth mindset, and there is infinite opportunities and inclusion when it becomes a gamer mindset. celebrate the transformational student lifestyle success. So you can see my little butterfly going from eggs to caterpillar to chrysalis and to expand into the butterfly to fly away. We will be restoring normality just as soon as we are sure what normal is anyway. Trillion. And that's another favorite quote. and pretty apt for right now, right? Thank you, Blue. I will tell you guys, before I continue, that we probably all have been the guides for technology for our campuses and our schools. And so I want you guys to really celebrate yourselves in that. And this illustration actually came from me teaching people how to use all of our new systems for advising students. And I wanted them to understand the cycle that a student goes through while they're in school with us. Okay. Superhero capes or super towels? It's hard to say with me, right? How could you create towel lessons to inspire your students to embrace parallax learning? Yeah, always super capes. My master's thesis includes super capes that I wove. Okay, so let's look at these. So we got some towel lessons, and I'm going to encourage you guys that, this is a chance for us to do some brainstorming. Oh, excellent. All right, yes. Now you guys understand why that towel is so important, how it boosts our imagination. Okay, so here's our towel lessons. So make a towel or a superhero cape or another object and customize it just for them, just for the students. This requires personal reflection and research skills. Maybe some poetry writing? So what you want to do is encourage the students to do some research and share about themselves and then apply it to an object. Our next towel lesson. Provide a safe space for them to call home that they help design or decorate. The bypass destruction and feeling lost in the universe provides new and inventive insight. Do you guys make classroom spaces, special galleries for your students? Okay. I'm sorry, I keep getting like this engine sound in my other ear. So I have to keep moving my camera around away from it. It's a little distracting. Okay, next lesson. Provide challenges that they can solve for others and work together. Learning to build a team that you trust means you can go to the end of the universe and back. When you give the students assignments to do something for someone else, that makes a huge difference to them. They are very motivated to help others. My students build all kinds of things that are welcoming projects for students that are coming in to teach them new things. And I'm very fortunate that a lot of this work is done in Second Life, and we get to experiment on all kinds of things. And you all come and check them out and give them feedback, which is huge, huge. So thank you for doing that. That's great. That's great, Blue Barker. Yes. And, you know, now more than ever, we need to, you know, really invigorate. They are struggling with motivation. And so that's why it was very interesting to me how motivated the students were to help others. And our care program benefited from the work my students did. That's great, Lou. Okay. Oh, I forgot to mention this. Let me go back to this guy. So if you please, visit my Don't Panic, Virtual World's Best Practices in Education exhibit, and you will discover over 150 one-of-a-kind towels that I made for my students. And you can pick the colors of the towels in the exhibit. Have fun with that and learn what the colors mean and express and communicate about you. Okay, here's a lightning round of the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy learning ideas. So we've got agency. So advocate accommodations, embrace flow, vision, give them a map and communicate directly. Provide them an idea of their place in the plan. Use parallax, perspective, and empathy to foster dreams. Our incentives. Require ownership. Provide coupon codes. Let students learn from their own lessons. Skills. Embrace adventure over anxiety. Improve communication and rally with problem solving. Use imagination. Resources. Use humor and laugh at yourself. Share small joys, the elves, and make tiny allies. Crisis circumstances requires awareness, care, understanding, and offering of the hot beverage. Strategy. Use systems and creative contingency plans to be productive and adaptive. Support that gamer growth mindset. Celebrate transformational student lifestyles and success. Please consider using Parallax Learning, creative contingency plans, and the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy to discover, measure, and brighten those luminous scholar stars. This last slide is to honor my Peninsula College student, Rachel, who returned after 8 years of come back to take my 3 digital story courses. She has been working in Second Life from the get-go. So she's been here 7 years, 8 years. And it was a delight that she came back to take my newer courses. This is her towel. She is awesome, and I'm very proud of her. Thank you very much. Yes, Blue, I'm very, very happy about that. Thank you guys so much.
Bravo.
Thank you all. Thank you. And we have time for questions, ideas. Excellent. Yes, wonderful, Mary. And in the gift, you'll find a few statements from students, their reflections on using the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. I have too many, so I tried to make it a few. Oh, yeah. As I'd be happy to talk about the coupon codes. So, so what happens is that things will come up where there's a more challenging possible project that some people might consider like extra credit, but it's not extra credit. They may not get credit for doing it. It could be attending a conference. It could be building out a new project. This last year, my students got to work with Montana State University students. And so that became a coupon code assignment. So instead of extra credit, it was a coupon code. And so they would cash in their coupon code, Montana, and then they could get away with not doing one of the regular assignments. And always the coupon code assignments or opportunities are actually much harder than the initial assignments. Thank you. And Jess, thanks for asking about that. It's hard to articulate. That's a great question, Bethany. If it's increased the general population to come in world. So because a lot of our students don't have really great internet, that is a deficit for them and a barrier that we have with a lot of other students. But there's a number of faculty, especially the folks that work in our addictive studies program, that are actually starting to bring students in and participate in the work that we have done. And then also our nursing department is interested in what we do. And it's fun because actually what happens is that students might discover Second Life on their own, and then they find out that we have a whole program that they can come and participate. And they're like, I didn't know we could do that. I didn't know we could go to school in Second Life. Bethany, thanks for asking about that. Other questions? So a big thing about this that I really want to encourage you guys on is that so much of the work that we do in virtual worlds inspires students who are not able to come into virtual worlds as well. And through the pandemic, being able to have my students in Zoom and view what we're doing in Second Life has made them feel part of this experience. And so I will encourage you that that is a way to generate interest and support. I know my Vice President of Instruction is delighted with the work we're doing here and looking forward to our next big project. And I would like to thank BEST, which is the Brain Energy Support Team, who has been supporting a big project that we are doing on their sim. And you can come visit that during one of the after conference virtual experiences with me. We're going to do a tour of the superhero's journey. And you can come see the students' work. I think that's April 2nd. I forgot to put that in. Thank you. And again, I am Zinnia Zauber, Renee Amy Kobrock, and it has been a pleasure to share my work and success of my students with you. How you'll find out about that, the tour, it is on the conference's website. And here is my links to my main website. And again, my slide share, I'll get these slides up for you guys. And thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate this opportunity. Yay! So I'll encourage you guys to grab something, a treat, some more coffee, and enjoy the rest of the presentations and exhibits while you're here. Thank you.